Good evening and welcome to Newswatch at 11. I'm Shakira Hawkins. Let's send it over to meteorologist Zach Yak with our first forecast. Zach?
Well, Shakira, we saw actually quite a nice day for us today, albeit a little bit on the chilly side. Temperatures really didn't reach much above 25 degrees this afternoon, and since then they have since dropped down into the mid to low teens out there. Even seeing a few single-digit temperatures heading up toward parts of Pocahontas County this evening, so definitely going to be a very chilly start to our Sunday. I believe we're going to start off with dry and quite a bit of sunshine to start. We see all the clouds, even the snow shower we were tracking earlier on this evening have since left our area and will stay out of our area through the day on Sunday. We could pick up a few more clouds throughout our Sunday afternoon as ahead of a cold front that is bringing in some more rain on Monday. How much rain we can expect coming up my full forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Zach. And this week has been filled with new COVID-19 headlines. Here are some of the top updates. On Monday, Governor Jim Justice announced that West Virginia has become the only state in the nation to achieve an overall vaccination rate of 100% for both first and second round vaccine doses combined. On Wednesday, Governor Justice announced upgrades to the state vaccine distribution dashboard. The improved dashboard now features an interactive map of the state, allowing users to view vaccine data for each individual county as well as West Virginia. During Friday's briefing, Governor Justice announced that he has decided to issue a series of executive orders lessening restrictions on several types of businesses, as well as schools, social gatherings, and more. And these new restrictions affect restaurants, bars, retail stores, schools, social gatherings, and live music. Restaurants and bars can now increase the limit from 50% to 75% seat capacity. For small businesses and retail stores, capacity will increase from 2 people per 1,000 square feet to 4 people. For grocery stores, capacity will increase from 3 people per 1,000 square feet to 6 people. Social limit on gathering now moves from 25 people to 75. Live music performances may take place indoors as long as the event is held in accordance with safety guidelines. And Governor announced yesterday that he is calling on the West Virginia Board of Education to make it mandatory that all counties send their students in grade pre-K through 8 back full time.
Let me just take time to tell you that I think we can do this now. We want to be proactive in this, as we've been this way all along, and we're just going to keep doing exactly what we've done all along. Be cautious, be absolutely cautious, be smart, and absolutely don't panic, and do all the things that we've said all along.
Even with the lessened restrictions, Governor Justice announced that face coverings are still required to enter a building. And we know that COVID-19 affects everyone differently, but more studies are showing how it can affect different minorities. Newswatch reporter Catherine Skelton has more.
Research is increasingly showing that COVID-19 doesn't just disproportionately affect older people, but there are race and ethnicity disparities behind the virus as well. African Americans, indigenous people, and people of color can be affected by COVID in more detrimental ways than other groups of people, studies show.
COVID has hit everyone, very, definitely. But in the African American community, we're twice as likely to catch the COVID and 3 times more likely to die from the COVID.
And along with the disproportionate effects the virus has had on these certain groups of people, there has also been an increased amount of hesitancy among them to receive the vaccine. But as the pandemic continues, these views are changing.
I've seen that shift. I don't think that there's a lot of hesitancy now, and that's because of the amount of time that this pandemic has gone on, as well as the devastation that it's caused in communities of color.
So fortunately, as more information becomes available pertaining to these disproportions in race from the virus, along with the hesitancy behind getting the vaccine, more effort is being made to combat and prevent these issues. And most people are all for making this effort.
It's a blessing that the Lord made way for us to be able to get our shot today. And I want to say, if anyone don't want to take the shot, you need the COVID-19 is absolutely for real.
Reporting from Lewisburg, I'm Catherine Skelton, Newswatch.
For more information and ways to get educated on this issue, visit minorityhealth.hhs.gov. And the DHHR reports as of this morning, there have been over 2 million total lab results received for COVID-19, with 129,367 total cases and 2,254 deaths. 3 deaths were reported in our viewing area, and those deaths include an 83-year-old female from Mercer County, a 60-year-old male from Fayette County, and a 61-year-old female from Raleigh County. And a different kind of vaccine clinic came to Lewisburg Saturday in an effort to combat disproportionate effects from the virus in communities of color. Race Matters and the Greenbrier Valley has coordinated with a partnership of African American churches to bring vaccine clinics specifically to these communities. One of the clinics was held Saturday at the Klinsman Center in Lewisburg and was met with a positive response from the community.
With the year, well, almost over a year, experience that not just our community, but all the communities around, our country have had. I really feel like that this is the light at the end of the tunnel.
Race Matters and the PAC plan to organize more Black, Indigenous, and people of color COVID-19 vaccination clinics throughout the state. And another aspect affecting vaccine distributions nationwide is the weather. Here's a closer look from Washington.
This morning, the U.S. is closing in on 500,000 COVID-19 deaths, and many states are struggling with their biggest weapon against the virus, vaccinations. Winter weather wreaking havoc on distribution efforts. The White House saying 6 million doses have been delayed, impacting all 50 states. It anticipates the backlog doses will get delivered within the next week. For 71-year-old Mary Beth Barber in Washington, frustration is an understatement.
It's a nightmare.
She managed to secure a vaccine appointment earlier this week, but it got canceled.
You work so hard, and it takes you a month to find a spot. It's really tough when you're told, well, you're going to start over again.
And in Los Angeles, cars bumper to bumper outside Dodger Stadium. Nearly 12,500 vaccine hopefuls striking out. Their doses delayed.
I'm 66 years old. I've got 2 young kids at home. This is super important to me.
President Biden traveled to Kalamazoo, Michigan Friday, touring a Pfizer facility. Starting next week, these new assembly lines will be able to produce 700,000 doses per hour. Pfizer also saying its vaccine, which had to be stored at 94 degrees below zero, can now be stored in regular medical freezers for up to 2 weeks once it arrives at vaccination sites. New data shows cases of COVID hospitalizations have declined since peaking in January. Still, President Biden won't commit a date when this crisis will end.
I believe we'll be approaching normalcy by the end of this year, and God willing, this Christmas will be different than last. But I can't make that commitment to you.
And yesterday, Biden pledged $4 billion to help vaccine efforts in poor countries around the world. Alex Brachet, ABC News, Washington.
There is a lot more to tell you about tonight. We'll have more about a rally called Moral Monday that is set to take place in front of Senator Joe Manchin's office. But first, meteorologist Zach Yak is ready to show us his full forecast. Next on Newswatch at 11.